Hey, I'm live. Uh, if there's an issue with the Wi-Fi or the lighting or something, I'm in a hotel room, so can't really do much about it. And I know it looks fancy, but there's barely a window in this room. I think they give you that extra little space there to make it feel like you got something cool when I'm not even using that bed up there, so it doesn't really do much for me. But so yeah, it's like 3:40 here p.m. where I am. I think it's like you're all just waking up. I think it's like almost 10 o'clock for the East Coast. So people are coming in now. Hey, what's up? So to be honest, I've barely been following news. I've been on Twitter maybe once or twice a day. I usually go on and retweet people that I think are saying some cool stuff. So that's pretty much been my consumption of news over the past week. But I do know who's going to be on stage tonight during a debate that it's going to be 2 a.m. when this debate's on. I'm likely not going to be able to watch it because I have a lot to do the next day. So I'm going to have to watch the highlights when I wake up. But yeah, this Democratic debate. So I'm going to go through each of the candidates, what I kind of expect from them in this debate. And yes, I'm in Italy. So if you're on Instagram, you'll see that I'm in Italy right now. So I'm going to go over some of the candidates, or over all the candidates, and kind of what I expect from them. I made no notes, so this is going to be straight off the cuff. Not really sure what I'm going to say here, but we'll go through it. And also, I'll touch on, I guess, some pieces of news that I maybe retweeted since I've been gone to discuss some more things. Actually, before I even get to the debates, I might as well touch on some of that stuff. Also, I'll answer some questions if there are super chats, and just random chats as well. I'll get some of your stuff as well. All right. I first want to mention that there was a new poll out that I saw. This came out September. Okay, again, this is the time I'm in right now, September 10th. So I'm not sure if that's when it came out, but a Texas general election matchup poll showing Bernie Sanders with a +6 over Donald Trump in Texas. And he is the one with the most support there. So it's Sanders +6, Biden's +4 at number 2. Castro, I guess that kind of makes sense. He's from Texas. +3. Warren +2, Booker +2, Harris +1. So I just wanted to share that. Just, I think we're getting to see now. I'm noticing some of these polls, especially state by state polls, like in New Hampshire. I think Bernie's 28, 28 or 29% against the other Democratic candidates in that state. Biden's like 21, so he's second place. So I think we're beginning to see Sanders pull ahead in some of these states. Now, I can't guarantee this is going to continue, but this is what I'm noticing. The occasional times I check Twitter, this is what I'm seeing. Again, maybe I'm in my bubble, and these are just the people that I'm seeing on my timeline, but this is what I'm noticing. So I'm hoping this is a trend that continues. And I think it will continue because people are, if you didn't wake up already to Bernie Sanders, then I think people are beginning to wake up now, or at least people that were maybe Biden curious at the beginning because they don't pay too much attention to what's going on. After seeing Biden speak, I think it's pretty clear he's not really up for the challenge. So Bernie Sanders is the most obvious choice for not just people that are really into politics and understand that he's the best for the people, actually represents people, has a 40-year record, has the platform, everything. Bernie's the full package. People are beginning to recognize that if you aren't already in the camp of being somebody that is super engaged in this whole race. So why am I in Italy? That's from Victor Perez. Vacation. A bit of a family vacation, actually. This is not something I would normally do. I don't love planes. I also don't love waking up really early every morning to go on excursions and that kind of thing. But I'm doing that, and I'm learning a lot. I'm enjoying stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a lot of images, a lot of videos I take from my random travels. So there you go. All right, let's get to this debate now. So I touched on the poll in Texas, Sanders beating everybody. Let's get to this third Democratic debate. So we got on stage, finally, 10 candidates. It's narrowed down. Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Andrew Yang. Now, predictions are a hard thing because we can all think, especially when you have favorites like I do, like we all do, you want to hope that the candidate that you support is going to do well. And I hope that's the case. So I don't really want to make any predictions, but I guess I can mention what I hope happens, and we can go on from there. Joe Biden, I just don't think has a shot. Like, Joe Biden's going to, I think, be the same way he's been so far in this race. They're going to, his campaign is going to try to limit the damage as much as possible. They'll likely try to tell him to don't talk too much, just keep your answers short, keep them concise. Maybe they'll give him some like cookie cutter answers to give to certain questions based on policy, and then, tell him how to react if somebody attacks him, but just really short answers. He's not going to go at length, because we see when he goes at length, he ends up saying, okay, I talked enough, and that doesn't look bad, or that doesn't look good. So it looks bad. So I don't think, any logical person, I do not understand how anybody could think Joe Biden will look good on stage or looks good on stage ever, because he doesn't. You have to really be just completely unaware of anybody else in the race to think Joe Biden looks spectacular when he's speaking on stage. He's just not himself. And even when Joe Biden is himself, he's not good. But this is Joe Biden at his worst. So I don't expect Joe Biden to have a good performance, but I expect him to give short answers. Maybe, let's say this. I think he will give maybe his best performance as Joe Biden that he can, because he really has to keep it together in this debate. If he falls apart, as he's done in the previous debates and in the town hall on climate change, it's really going to hurt him. So his campaign wanted to kind of stay, within the lines and not go and not waver too much and explore where his mind may take him, because it's not going to take him to good places. Now, Cory Booker. So he's next on this list here from ABC.com. Cory Booker. I'll be honest, I've barely thought about Cory Booker. I think a lot of people have barely thought about Cory Booker. He's run of the mill. He's not the worst. He's not somebody I would suggest anybody support. But there are clearly people in this race that I despise a lot more than Cory Booker. Cory Booker will just, maintain his 1%, 2%, 3% at most in the polls. I don't really think he's going to do all that well, personally. But I could be wrong. Maybe, he needs to have an outstanding performance to actually stand out and gain some support. But when it comes to Cory Booker's strategy here, I guess his strategy here is to do something where people remember that he was on stage. That's kind of what he has to do. So maybe he'll attack Joe Biden again. Maybe he'll, I don't know. I was going to say maybe he'd try to go after Bernie and Warren, but that wouldn't play well for him, I don't think. So if he did that, it would be bad strategy. He's got to have a shining moment. Maybe attacking Biden is his best bet, because I'm not sure what else he can really do here. Pete Buttigieg. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care about Pete Buttigieg. This is a guy who he raised the most money in the second quarter. I think, what was it, 23 million or 27 million? I know he has 23 billionaire donors. So I always get confused if he raised 23 million in the second quarter, if it's more than that. But he has 23 billionaire donors, the most billionaire donors out of everybody. Pete Buttigieg is only in this race because he has all that financial backing. I don't know what the hell Pete Buttigieg is going to do. I think he's going to tread water, as he's been doing so far. I think that's all he has to do. He has the money behind him. I think he's hoping this race will get down to 5, and then maybe at that point he'll make his move. I think at this point he's going to tread water. He's going to stay. He's really good at giving standard answers. He's good at giving standard answers that sound okay to the average person who doesn't really know all that much. So I think Pete Buttigieg will continue that tonight. But I don't think he'll really go out and try to go after anybody or try to make any big statements. I think he'll just tread water. Julian Castro. So again, Julian Castro, kind of like, in my mind, like Cory Booker, in the sense that where I don't I don't hate him, but I also don't love him. I think he's kind of in the middle. I don't really care all that much, to be honest. Julian Castro, I think, I mean, this is somebody who, if he actually wants to win this race, which I think he knows that he doesn't have a shot, but if he actually wants to win this race, he needs to have a big moment. But I don't know how he does that. I mean, again, attacking Joe Biden maybe is a way to do that. I think if you go after Bernie or Warren, I think there'll be a backlash. So I don't think it's smart to do that. But yeah, like this, I'll go through each candidate here, but let's be honest. This race is down to 3 people, 4 at best. And I say that with the next person here, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has to do something tonight or else she's done. It's going to be a top 3 race of Biden, Bernie, and Warren, unless Kamala Harris does something tonight that allows her to stay in this race and be on the same level as Bernie, Biden, and Warren are. So I don't know if she'll do that. Or yeah, I don't know if Kamala Harris is. I mean, she'll try to do that, but what I'm saying is I don't know if she'll be able to do that. I think she will try to have a big moment again. She'll try to recapture what she did in the first debate. Maybe go after Biden again somehow, or maybe she'll try to make a move going after Bernie and Warren, or I think more likely Bernie. She may do that. I'm not sure how she's going to do that though. So it's an incredible gamble for her campaign because she kind of needs to do something like that, but it's hard to do that and be successful at it because there's nothing you Bernie Sanders on. I mean, let's be honest here. He has the track record. He has the platform. He has individual donors. He doesn't take big money. I mean, how do you go after Bernie Sanders? I don't know how you do that successfully. I mean, you could try to go for the superficial vote and say, well, do we really need another white man in the White House? Like she may do something like that. That's like her only angle there. So maybe look out for Kamala Harris to do something like that. Bring identity into the race or into the debate. She may try that because I don't know what else she has. Amy Klobuchar. So Amy Klobuchar, there's really not much going on with Amy Klobuchar. I don't know why Amy Klobuchar is still in this race. It's a little absurd that she's still in this race. So yeah, I don't know what she has to offer here. Yeah, Amy Klobuchar, just I go blank when I see her name because I'm surprised it's not Tulsi Gabbard there instead of Amy Klobuchar. It's kind of weird. All right, Beto O'Rourke. Beto, no, not happening. I don't. Again, why is Beto in this race? I have no idea. I have no idea why Beto's in this race. It's a little absurd that he's in this race. Yeah, he's going to try to do the same thing he's always done. He's going to, be very flowery. Is that a word? With his language, just drone on and on and on, and put us all to sleep. But he's not really going to have any real substance to him because we've seen him flip flop on issues like on healthcare, for example. I don't know how you exactly trust him on these issues. 1 second, somebody's knocking on the door. This is perfect timing. So let me just be right back. This is going to be weird, but I can't pause this, so I'll be back. All right. I'm back. All right. So where was I? I was on Beto. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening with Beto. So just like, what's Beto gonna do? Like, this is a guy where I'm not sure if I dislike him or Pete Buttigieg more. It's a toss up because they're both incredibly phony. Pete Buttigieg is better, I think, at being phony than Beto is. But yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen with Beto. I just don't think he's going to last much longer. I don't know why he's in this race. He's wasting his time. All right. Also, by the way, on Beto, like the longer he stays in this race, the more people dislike him that maybe liked him before when he was running against Ted Cruz. So it just hurts his record to stay in this race. Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders, in my mind, will win the debate because of course he will. I mean, what else do you expect? Like, this is the thing. Even when Bernie has a poor performance, which he, in the first debate, you can say he kind of was invisible. He still has the best performance because you know he's honest in his responses, in his answers. You know you trust what he is saying. He has the platform. He has the record. So even when he has a quote unquote poor performance because maybe he didn't perform well on stage, you still know he's the best candidate there. So it's so weird for me. Like, that's what's weird about judging these debates, because you know based on these candidates and their records and their platform what they're about. So these debates are really all about performance, I guess. So if we're talking about, can Bernie Sanders attract more attention in this debate, gain more support in this debate? Maybe. I hope he can. But that's the thing. I can't predict Bernie's performance. I can only tell you that he's the best candidate on stage. So will he perform well? I don't know. I hope he will. But it seems this is the way the pattern seems to go. If somebody has a great debate, the next debate they're kind of flat. And then the next debate they're great. So Bernie, I think, had a great debate in the second debate. So I don't know if he'll be able to be as solid as he was in that second debate. But then in the next debate, he'll be fantastic. So that's kind of how I think this is going to go. I think Bernie will do all right. I think he'll do well in this debate, but I'm not sure he's going to stand out the way he stood out in the second debate. But I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great if I was. All right, let's go to Warren. Elizabeth Warren. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I say this all the time. Like, it's hilarious the amount of hate I get on both sides. I get people that like Warren hating me because I don't like her enough, and people that for some reason despise Warren completely, hating me because I'm not critical of her enough. But I am critical of her. I'm level-headed in my approach to Elizabeth Warren. I think she is a solid candidate if Bernie Sanders didn't exist. But Bernie Sanders exists. So I'm sorry, Elizabeth Warren is way in second place, but I think she's still in second place in this top 10. So I don't know what else you want me to say. I mean, I think she's fairly solid on domestic policy. When it comes to foreign policy, it's hard to pin her down. I mean, there's that recent video, I think it was Emma Vigeland of TYT, asked her a question about her foreign policy, about her support of increasing the military budget, and she defended it. So I don't know what else you want me to say about that. I mean, her foreign policy is, from what we've seen, is not good. It's typical Democratic Party establishment foreign policy. So I'm not really sure. I don't know what she thinks she's doing with that position. But I think it's hurting her. So look, in this debate, I think she'll do well in this debate. The media likes her, which helps a lot. She's riding sort of a wave here. So a wave in terms of the media wave. I mean, I think what's happening now, the media is recognizing it's Biden, Bernie, or Warren. They see Biden falling. They know Bernie is a real threat to them. So they're going with Warren. That's how I'm viewing this all. At the same time, I think Warren would be a solid VP. Understand here, Bernie and Warren's bases are different. So you have Bernie's base it's largely working class, largely diverse. Warren's base is largely white, largely wealthy. So combine those two bases together, you have a solid ticket for 2020. So it doesn't make much sense to really go after Elizabeth Warren. Let's wait till it's the top three. When it's the top three, then it makes sense for maybe Bernie and Warren to be a little more critical of each other. Right now, it's sort of just my job to point out when Elizabeth Warren, for example, I mean, there's a New York Times piece, I did a video on this, a New York Times piece showing how Elizabeth Warren raised over $10 million last year for her Senate campaign and moved that money to her presidential campaign. So, yeah. And that was from largely big donors. So, and she also, I mean, it's one thing to change your strategy and go, okay, now I'm only taking money from small donors. But she said that she'll take big money in the general election. So I think that's a stupid move. Why do you need to take big money when you are one of two candidates in the race? You're going to get billions of dollars in free media. You don't need big donors in a general election matchup. So it's just a dumb strategy from her. But I think she'll perform well in the debate, I guess. I don't know. Again, it's hard when I have favorites here. Last but not least, Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang has a really tight-knit, diehard support base online. Hasn't really played out in polls too much. I mean, there's been a few polls, or at least one poll I've seen, where he was beating Beto, I think it was, which was interesting. Or maybe it was Pete Buttigieg. But I think he was like in the top 5. Andrew Yang may make it to the top 5 in this race, but he's kind of a libertarian. So I don't know how far he's really going to make it here. He doesn't have all that much support yet to really, continue what he needs to do to actually become president or win the nomination. But I think he'll maintain health. I think he'll be top 5, top 6, and then the numbers will start getting whittled down. All right. So overall, who wins this debate? Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders in my mind, but maybe he doesn't have a great, I don't know, maybe he's not super enthusiastic on stage or something, but in terms of the candidates, Bernie Sanders. But if we're talking about performance, I really have no idea. I mean, we're looking at Elizabeth Warren, maybe. I think the media is going to say, oh, Elizabeth Warren won this debate. There we go. That's my prediction. I'm not going to think she won, but that's what the media is going to say. The media is going to say Elizabeth Warren won this debate. All right. I got to go soon, but I'll take, if there's any questions or any random things I see pop up. I don't think anybody sent super chats in, or else I would see it up top. I really hope you didn't stream, but I don't see any super chats. All right. Let me take 2 questions because I really got to go. Connection says it's unstable, and now it's back. I don't know. All right. Clang Krieg says Wall Street loves Warren. I'm in. I wouldn't say Wall Street loves Warren. If we're talking about between her and Bernie, yeah, they'll pick Warren. But I don't think Wall Street loves Warren. Oh, okay, here we go. Pop Reality again says, Warren is a Trojan horse, even on domestic policy. If Bernie wasn't in the race, but Bernie's in the race, so it doesn't even make sense to have the conversation. I'm looking for one more comment here because I really got to go. It says TYT broke down Yang's UBI and it is regressive. Yeah, from what I've seen, Yang's UBI is basically a libertarian UBI. It's not from my understanding, it's not as bad as kind of replacing the entire welfare state, but at the same time, it allows for that to eventually happen. And that's kind of the worry with Andrew Yang's UBI. All right, let's say one more. And Shia says Warren is to the left of Tulsi. Tulsi is only better on foreign policy. I would largely agree with that, except for India. Though maybe, to be honest, I don't know if Warren has said anything about Modi or what's happening in India right now. So I'm not positive about that. But yeah, Tulsi's, largely anti-interventionist, which is good. Ultima Gannon says, will you appear on Rising with Crystal Ball? I don't think I've been invited. If I'm invited, sure. Sure I will. Also, there's a Canadian debate. I thought there was supposed to be one today, but I've looked it up and I'm seeing nothing about it. All I'm seeing when I search up the debates for Canada are the 2 upcoming official debates on CBC, which are in early October. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But yeah. When those debates do happen, I will cover them. I think Trudeau is only appearing in the CBC debates, from my understanding, which is kind of probably smart of him to do that, honestly. I don't know if he has anything to gain from being in every debate. Like if I was his advisor, I would probably advise him to kind of stay away from these debates as much as possible. But it could backfire. People could see, oh, Trudeau didn't even show up, but not everybody in the country watched the debates, so not everyone's going to care about that. So it probably is best for him to stay out of it, because it would just make news if he's in it and something happens to him. So, like if somebody says something about him, that hits. All right. Serenity 707 says, who's better, Warren or Tulsi? Warren. And that's where I'm ending the stream. Bye. Thank you all for coming. I'll try to do another one, maybe sometime this week. But I'm back next week sometime, middle of next week. So I'll get back to my usual stuff when I get back. All right. Bye.